Hi there, let's begin at the front of our mats in mountain pose. So bring your feet underneath your hips, press down through your heels, and then take your hands to your hips and roll your tailbone under so that it opens up the front of the hips here, the hip flexors. And then draw the navel in towards your spine and keep that engagement as you inhale, stretch the arms out wide and reach all the way up to the ceiling. Bring your palms together and exhale, forward fold all the way through, leading with the chest, come all the way down, drop your head, drop your hands, and then inhale, halfway lift, bring your hands to your shins, lengthen the crown of your head forward, and then exhale, bend your knees and forward fold. Release your head. Now press through your heels, sit back into chair pose, reach your arms forward and rise up. Now press through your heels and lift all the way up into extended Tadasana. Lift up. Good. Reach for your left wrist with your right arm. Stretch straight up and then exhale, hinge over to your right side. Now as you press down through your left heel, pull your left elbow and shoulder back. Find a little bit more space. Inhale, lift yourself back to the center. Hold on, grab a hold of your right wrist, stretch up. Press through your right heel and then lean over to your left side and see if you can keep pressing through the right heel and pull the right elbow and shoulder back. Big breath in. Good. Inhale, come back to the center. Reach the arms wide, forward fold, swan dive all the way through. Inhale to halfway lift, lengthen your spine. And on your exhale, step your left foot back, coming into a low lunge. We're going to lower the left knee down. Inhale, sweep the arms up, open up your chest, and then come out of the bend for a second. Draw your tailbone under, and then re-bend here to create a nice stretch through the left hip. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower your hands down, tuck your back toes under, and lift your hips straight up to the ceiling, folding over the right leg. So around your spine, folding over that right leg, lift the right toes up. And then rebend back into the right knee, step your back foot up to meet your front foot, and inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend the knees. Good, bring your hands down, step the right foot back, low lunge, lower the right knee down, and inhale, sweep the arms up, open the chest, come out of the bend, scoop the tailbone under, and then re-bend into the left knee. Keep lengthening up tall through the crown of your head. And take a breath. Lower the hands down. Lift the hips straight up, fold over your left leg, round your spinal locks. Take a breath here. And then bend back into your left knee. This time step back into plank pose. Left foot back to meet the right foot. Big breath in at the top. And you're going to press back to downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Pedal out your feet. Walk the feet out here. Press down through one heel and then the other. Don't forget to lengthen your neck. Maybe turn your head side to side. You can take your hands a little wider if that feels better for your shoulders. Just breathe. One more deep breath. Okay, from here on your next inhale, come forward into plank pose. Slowly, gently drop down onto your elbows into a forearm plank, pressing out through your heels. So moving really mindfully, elbows underneath of your shoulders, pressing out through your heels, sternum pressing forward, and then go ahead and bring your hips down. Walk your hips back a little bit so that your shoulders are right above your elbows. And then take a moment to settle in. You can turn your toes in to face each other so that you're rotating the knees in a little bit as well. And then sometimes it feels good to just move side to side. So catching your breath if needed, like me, taking a little bit of movement. Perfect. And then come back to the center. By dropping your chin to your chest. Taking a breath. Shoulders move down your back. And then bring your chin back forward. So you're going to take the left elbow, the left forearm, and bring it forward so that it's parallel to the front of your mat. And then bend your right knee, reach back a hold of your right shin or your ankle or your foot, and see if you can pull your right heel in towards your glute and drop your forehead down towards your left forearm. So a couple different options. You can reach for the inside, the outside, or the top of the foot. You can draw the chest down towards the mat, and you can press your hips down into the mat as well. One more breath here. And then release. Bring the right arm forward, relax the right leg down, and switch sides. Bend your left knee, pull your heel in towards your glute, and then press your hips down into the mat to create a little more stretch through your quad, your thigh. And breathe here. Checking in, noticing if this side is any different than the other side. Okay, and then gently release the left foot. Nice and easy. Bring the hands back underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes back under. And see if you can squeeze your elbows, your shoulders, your inner thighs, everything in towards your center line. And then inhale, press yourself back up to plank. And exhale, press back to downward dog. Readjust your stance if needed. And inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. Press out through your heel. See if you can keep pressing out through your right heel. And then press the left heel down into the mat, or towards the mat. One more breath. Good, now curl your right knee forward and step all the way through into a lunge. Right foot to right thumb, take your time. And on your next inhale, rise all the way up into a high lunge. Open up your chest, bend into the right knee. You can also bring a bend into your left knee as well and try that on. One more deep breath. And then lower your hands down. Frame your front foot. Bring your left knee down to the mat. Bend your left knee. Flex your left foot. You can stay right here. This is a good stretch already. Or if you want, you can reach the right arm back and maybe catch a hold of your foot. Pull your foot in towards your hips. And breathe. Take a breath in and out. Gently release your foot. Bring your right hand back around. Step back to plank pose. And back to downward facing dog. Press your hips up and back. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Stretch it long and press out through your heel. And then press your right heel down towards the mat as well. So see if you can stretch both legs apart. And then draw your left knee forward, knee towards the front of the mat, and step forward into lunge. Take your time. Inhale, reach the arms up. Open your chest. You can come out of the bend in the front knee, draw the hips forward, and then maybe even bring a bend into your back knee here. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Lower your hands down. To frame your front foot, relax your right knee down, bend your right knee, and reach back with your left arm for your right foot. If you can grab a hold of it, you could always use a towel or a strap here if you can't reach your right foot. And then you could twist around. Take a deep breath. And then release. Go ahead and bring the right hand back, step back to plank pose. This time, if you have chaturanga in your practice and you want to flow through, you could lower yourself halfway down or all of the way. Untuck the toes and lift the chest forward into up dog or a cobra. And then press it back to downward facing dog. All right, 3 breaths here. Bending the knees, lift your tailbone up to the ceiling. Press firmly through your hands, all 10 fingertips. And then gently drop your knees down to your mat. Swing your legs around, come into a seated position. And from here, take your right leg out. Your left knee will bend in, bringing the sole of your left foot to your inner right thigh. Slide your right hand down your right leg to your ankle or to your foot, and reach your left arm up and over, side body stretch. Pull your left arm back to open up the chest and the left side. Breathe. And then inhale, lift yourself back up. Option here to lower the left hand down behind your left hip and lift the hips up as you reach the right arm up for a nice front body stretch. Gate pose, and then slowly lower back down. Switch sides. Bring the right foot in, left leg out. Slide the left hand down your left leg and then reach the right arm up and over. Pull the right elbow back, right shoulder back, and breathe here. And then inhale, lift yourself back up. Bring your right hand down. This is an option to plant the right hand, sweep the hips up, lift the left arm up, finding a nice little back bend, and then lower back down to your mat. Last pose here I'm going to show you is totally an option. It's called reclined hero's pose. I'm going to do one leg at a time, so if this doesn't work for your knees, then just skip it. So you're going to extend the left leg, bend the right knee back, the top of the right foot down. And again, if this doesn't work, if this doesn't feel good for your knee, you could do a tree pose, a reclined tree pose. So if you're able to, you could drop down onto your elbows and then lift your hips and roll your tailbone out towards the bottom of the mat. And then if you want, you could always walk the elbows forward more and lower onto your back. Another option would be to stack up some pillows or blankets underneath your back. And that would be a nice front body opener, chest opener, hip flexor stretch, and your quad. So big stretch for the right quad. And then just take a couple breaths here. Lots of options, either reclined tree pose, or you can stay on your elbows. You don't have to lower all the way down. You could also stack up some props underneath your back, like blankets or pillows. All right, so if you're all the way down, use the help of your elbows to lift yourself back up. And then all the way up, swing your weight to your left side and switch sides. Extend the right leg, roll the weight over to the right side, bend your left knee, or tree pose like this. And then slowly come onto your elbows. Now, important part is to lift the hips, roll the tailbone down towards the right heel, and then slide your elbows down, maybe lower onto your back, and take the arms overhead if that feels good. And this is such an awesome stretch if you're supported, if the joints are okay, the knee joint, and just to open up the hip flexor, the quad, quadricep, and the front of the body. And so just let your breath flow in and out of the belly here. And then go ahead and very, very gently and mindfully bring your elbows back down to your mat. Use the help of your elbows, press down to lift up, come all the way up, and then slide the left leg out. Bend your knees here. Grab a hold of your shins, and I'm kind of walking forward, so walk forward a little bit and then roll onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a loving hug here. Thank yourself for practicing.